This is it, guys. This is the one you've been waiting for. This is long GOP versus all eye when shooting green screen. That's right, it's a battle of the centuries. It is the new 400 megabit mode that they put in the GH5 2.0 firmware versus the old long GOP method of shooting green screen. What is long GOP? What is all eye? Will it cook me breakfast? Am I gonna survive shooting in my teeny little office? Oh, find out all of these things after the bumper. All right, guys, a while ago, I recorded in my old house a GH5 green screen test video, like beyond all green screen test videos. It was really popular. Thank you guys for all the positive feedback. I went through like every possible mode. Then they came out with the 2.0 firmware after I did that video, and they came out with some new shooting formats. And I thought it would be great to test those new formats. One format actually in particular, and that is shooting 4K all eye. Before I dive in, I also want to acknowledge and thank a lot of the people that gave me comments. There were a lot of technical comments and a lot of things that I've really corrected for this video. Number one, I'm going to be shooting this whole video at 400 ISO because that is the native ISO for this camera. Number two, I took my little chip chart here and I custom white balanced my camera. For the purposes of this video, I will be shooting in the natural mode, which is a pretty standard Rec 709 video feed. I'm not gonna get into shooting vlog. I'm gonna save that for another video, but I will be doing an exploration of vlog and green screen as well. Stay tuned for that. This time, unlike last time, I can't shoot a puppet. This is all about motion and time. What this particular upgrade gives us is something called all eye recording. There's a lot of videos on this stuff out there that get really technical, so I'm gonna make it really basic for you. In all eye recording, every single pixel in every single frame is captured. And I know you're thinking, what? Isn't that what cameras do, is capture things in every single frame? Not exactly. Long GOP, which is the 150 megabit format that I was shooting before, is a compressed format that actually drops pixels from frame to frame. What it does is it captures kind of like one poster frame, and then if things don't change in the next frame, it doesn't change them. It saves space by saying, oh, that pixel's the same as the last frame, so let's not change it. Let's not add a little piece of extra information there. Let's just skip that. Visibly, normally, I can't really tell a difference. Really, this boils down to a technical thing, which is I'm bumped up against a green screen, which is a constant color. So if I'm moving in front of that green screen, is the long GOP going to throw away too much information in the green? Is it going to say, that's green, I'm not going to update that? And then when you move, like, is it going to give me some, like, is it not going to like keep up and like mess up like the hairs on my face or something like that? On the flip side, all eye, which is 400 megabits, which needs like a beefy SD card. I can't even shoot it without using like a super SD card. Is that going to fix any of those problems? Which one's going to be better? I don't know. Let's find out. All right, guys, so now I am on my GH5 shooting in the natural mode. I'm filming myself. By the way, quick shout out. I got a request to use my macro lens that I reviewed in another video, see what it looks like for portraiture and filming things that aren't necessarily macro photography. So I am using that lens. It is a 30mm Lumix macro lens. We are going to shoot in the all-eye 400 megabit C4K. Got my little gray chip card here. This is an X-Rite Pro Color Passport. This is an 18% gray card. I'm gonna go to my white balance settings on my GH5, which is the button up here somewhere. And I am going to hit select white balance, position this card so that it's in a little square, and I'm gonna hit set. And that's it. All right, so now I have turned on my waveform monitor, which is taking up an absurd amount of my face. In short, you can see that this line behind me is the green screen. And right now it is on the middle line, which is 50. I want it to be a little bit brighter than that. It's only being lit by the sun right now and this ring light up here, but I have a big light right back here that I can dim up. Yeah, you can actually see the line raising as I bring this light up, and I'm going to bring it up. That is at 70. That is too bright for me right there. So what's really cool about this light is I can lower it. I'm just looking at it right to 60, which is where I want it. So I'm actually at 70, 75. I'm almost a little too bright. So I'm gonna maybe stop down just a little bit on this camera on me. Let's go to a 5.6. That's about where I want to be. But now I can raise my light. I can raise this up again to get this to 60. So now my green screen is at 60 roughly. Pretty even line. Again, the waveform video talks more about it. I'm right around 70, which is kind of where I want to be. I'm looking at myself in the monitor here. I look pretty good. And this is what I want to shoot. So now I'm shooting in the 4K mode, I'm going to start and stop the camera just to have these clips clean, and I'm going to do a 5-second clip of each of this format and then the long GOP 4K format. Okay, here comes the first clip. Ready? I'm going to start sideways. All right, that was it. So that was the big format. Now I'm going to go hit the key menu, and the only thing we're going to change is we are going to go into our modes, and instead of all I Cinema 4K, we are going to go to 10-bit 150 megabit 24p, which is the long GOP. You can see right here it says long GOP format. I'm going to hit exit, and I'm going to do the exact same move. You guys ready? It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. All right, so that is it for that test. Let's go into the computer and look at this footage and see what happens. First thing I want you guys to do is see that I have both of the files that I recorded right here. They're the exact same length, 6 seconds each, but the all I stuff, the 400 megabit all I stuff, is 300 megabytes, and the long GOP stuff, which is 150 megabit, is 121 megabytes. More than double in size in your MP4 files just to record this new format. See what the results look like of this green screen test and see if taking up that kind of space is worth it. When you typically do visual effects, you're immediately going to take all of your shots and you're going to convert your footage to frames. And I'll show you why really quickly. If I try playing these MP4s in NUKE, it actually plays really slowly, and that's because NUKE has to unpackage and uncompress each frame as you're going, and that kind of sucks. So you kind of want to do that unpackaging and uncompression up front. I converted everything to a format called EXR. It really keeps all the data. Once you do that, the files all get a lot bigger. As you can see, we're averaging around 26 megabytes a frame for both all-I and long GOP. So right now you've bumped everything up to a higher file size anyway. So once you get into the visual effects stuff, files are going to be about the same size. If you look at the folder size for 144 frames, now I'm at a whopping 3.9 gigabytes for the long GOP, and I am at 3.7 gigabytes, almost the same, actually oddly a little smaller for the all-I. But anyways, you can see 6 seconds of footage is bordering on 4 gigabytes in 4K. So we're talking about some big file sizes here. Now, as you can see, if I play the footage in NUKE with the EXRs, it plays a lot faster. In fact, it's playing almost in real time before it even buffers. That is huge, and the fact that my computer can play this 4K stuff back in NUKE in real time, because it's an awesome like Threadripper beast machine, is making me very, very happy right now. All right, guys, so let's take a look at the actual EXR file footage side by side. Here's our long GOP footage, and here is our all-I footage. And what's really weird to me is when I was first looking at this, I kept thinking like the exposure was different between the two. But if you sample the areas, the numbers are almost identical down here, the red, green, and blue values. You've got like 0.1, 0.246, 0.1, and here we've got like 0.1, 0.25, 0.1. I see a decent amount of compression in both of them in the red channel. I'm also seeing these weird speckly black dots. You guys see those speckly dots? They're kind of more prevalent in the all-I, which is kind of weird. It's not really great. You see that stuff? It's almost like some kind of imprinted pattern from the chip or something like that. See, it's really there. And what's not great about it is it speckles into the hairs. That's going to cause a little bit of sizzling. It seems like there might be a little bit more sizzle over here on the long GOP stuff. If I zoom in way close, pretty sizzly on the edges. And here, I don't know. Maybe it's about the same. It's really hard to tell. If there's a difference, guys, I gotta be honest, like I can barely tell. So that's the red channel. Let's look at the green channel. Now the good news is the green channel looks like really clean in both of these. I could get into some advanced keying techniques where like I shuffle out the red channel and things like that if I really had to, but I'm not gonna, that's a little bit out of the scope of this test, but that is a nice looking green channel, I must say. That is also a very nice looking green channel. Again, I don't see a huge difference between the two. Overall, my feeling so far is that it's kind of about the same. I'm not noticing any weird aliasing or blocking or anything like that. Here's the blue channel. Blue channel is noisier. A little bit of noise in the blue, a little bit of noise in the red. The green is very clean. This should key. Here, let's put a key light in, your default sort of keyer. And I'm not gonna do anything fancy. I'm just gonna stick it right in here. Okay, so there we go. So there's our noise print off of a one-click key. So guys, this looks very similar to me. The footprint of the noise from a one-click key looks almost like identical to me, and it's not bad. Obviously this would need some work, but again, I'm questioning the value of shooting the 400 megabit for this purpose right now. It feels like it's not achieving anything for green screen anyway. Some issues though, if you do punch in, you see how you're getting this kind of, you see that's that noise stuff again. That weird imprinted noise really shines through in the key. And that's a bigger issue for me than any of the bitrate things. I actually paused this video and went and shot a little bit more footage just to double check something. And I went and I shot in HD and I shot in Vlog. And it wasn't the Vlog so much, but it was the HD. So it's the same footage with the same exposure. But now I didn't shoot in 4K, I shot in HD. And look, that noise is not there. So it's obviously something to do with shooting in 4K on this camera. Maybe it's because it's utilizing the chip in a different way, or it's bigger or something like that. But that's something to watch out for, guys. That actually might make shooting 4K not as advantageous as shooting HD in some instances. That's something that probably merits even more tests that I will do another day. If any of you guys have any experience with this or might know why mathematically, please feel free to hit me up in the comments. I'm very curious to know. Back to our sort of non-scientific, will this work keying test. Let me just drop in a checkerboard. I'm just going to merge this on top of a checkerboard here. So here you go. Once you actually start putting in a background and it's not just black, it's looking pretty good, actually. Yeah, I mean, look at that, guys. I mean, the hair detail is looking really nice from this distance. Like if it was HD, if I shrunk this down to HD, this would be like almost fine. Like everything looks good. Well, I'm pretty sure when I zoom in, yeah, you can start seeing that noise floor right there. But I don't know. This looks pretty good. The all-eye looks great. The long GOP looks good. Yeah, so far, I'm 50-50, guys. Next thing I could do, let's see. I could play around with just maybe a little bit of work on the key. Like let's bring in the blacks to here. And that just zapped our noise pedestal. Let's see how our edges hold up. So you get a little bit of sizzling. This is where you get into sizzle town if you're too aggressive with this. So it definitely looks sizzly on all black. If we go over to the checkerboard, probably not a big deal. You guys, I'm seeing gray in my beard. What's happening? No. Age. Life, I tell you. Alright guys, so check this out. This is doing a little bit of clamping in the key to get rid of the sizzle. Looks great to me, both of them across the board. I would make the long GOP stuff the winner, at least for green screen, at least for basic green screen stuff like this. So one other thing I did is I did like a little bit more of an advanced key just to show you guys sort of a semi-finished result. This is still not perfect. I think there'd be a lot more work to be had, but here you go. So here's something I did with the long GOP footage. I just put myself on this background. I did a little bit of color correction on my face. I did a little bit of light wrap, you know, things like that. I split up a couple different keys for the left and right side because remember I didn't have the exposure perfectly even across the green screen, so one side key's better than the other. All the usual stuff we have to deal with when we do this. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Nice. I added a little bit of grain, poorly, but I added a little bit of grain. I've got this nice sort of fade with the light wrap of my hair into the background, a little bit of overexposure going on. Seems to hold up pretty nicely. And then here is the all-eye stuff that to me looks about the same. Light wrap. For some reason, the light wrap's coming in a little bit more aggressive over there. This is the exact same key. I didn't change keys. What's great about the GH5 is that even at 150 megabit long GOP, it's just great for keying. The GH5 family, to me, is by far the best mirrorless camera for keying footage because of all of its formats. It's going to beat the socks out of the Sonys and the Canons out there. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have enjoyed diving into the long GOP versus all-eye battles. We have a super mega, I need a crazy SD card, heavy hitter of a video format that I don't think you're going to need all of the times versus the standard 150 megabit format. But it is great to have another feature on this camera that literally takes it up to like professional level or like almost professional level. Forget it. I'm just gonna say professional level. You know what? I've used this camera to shoot stuff for TV shows. It's hit air and no one's like known the difference. So let's just say professional. I am excited that you guys tuned into this video and watched the results, and I hope that you like this channel. If you do like this channel, please consider hitting like, telling your friends, subscribing. I plan on making so much more content, guys, and bringing things that from my real world job into this, and also bringing things that I learned from YouTube into this, and just learning and having fun and creating. The moral of the story is, guys, keep creating. Thank you very much. See you next time.
I'm sick and tired, I should go alone. Ain't got the time to make it work alone. I was betting on you, yeah.
This is comparing the GH5. This is gonna take me. This is gonna be really hard to do. This is comparing the new GH5. This is comparing. Let's try this one more time.